right. Moving forward with our review. So we're going to start talking about integers, which is our mathematical word for, I always do that, positive and negative numbers. So adding, subtracting integers. So there's a lot of ways to think about how to do this. And sometimes I'm going to explain it a few different ways in the hopes that one of them will click with you. It doesn't have to be all of them. But so I do kind of say, okay, here's some like rules. So you could have two positive numbers in a sequence like this. And if that happens, this is just going to be like adding like in first grade. Add them together and the answer is positive. So it's just like 5 plus 2. Basic. You could have two negative numbers, and it's pretty much the same thing. You're going to add, and the answer is negative. And so that one could look like this. And so some people get tripped up on this. And if I was in class, I could kind of ask you to like show your hands. There's not a wrong answer to this question, but I would ask you, do you see negative 5 minus 2, or do you see a negative 5 and a negative 2? And really, they're both right. There's not like a wrong answer to that. I tried to like make it clear that in my opinion, a subtraction sign and a negative sign are the same thing. However you think about it is fine, but they are the same thing. So some of you are great with like, oh, the rule says I have two negative numbers. That's a negative 5, that's a negative 2. The rule says I'm supposed to add 5 and 2 is 7, and the answer is negative. And you like the rule. Okay, some of you, that is harder to do it that way. So there's a few different ways to like think of it. You could think of it as I missed 5 problems on the front side of a worksheet, and I missed 2 problems on the back side. So altogether, I missed 7 problems. So you could think of it as like missing problems and extra credit for positive. Okay. There's an old math movie called Stand and Deliver, and the teacher talks about digging a hole. So negative would mean digging a hole, and positive would mean like you have dirt and you're filling the hole. So if you dug 5 feet down into the ground and then you dug 2 feet, you will have dug 7 feet. Okay, so there's a bunch of different like ways to think of it. Okay, all right. Then you could have one positive and one negative. In that case, you're going to subtract no matter what. And the answer is the sign of the larger number. So you could have negative 5 and positive 2. So if you're like the rule person, hey, that's negative and that's positive. Wasn't that an addition sign? Same thing. Like I said, subtraction and negative, same thing. Adding and positive, same thing. So, subtract 5 minus 2 is 3. The answer has the sign of the larger number. 5 is bigger than 2. 5 has a negative sign, so negative 3. Okay, you might be saying, well, a larger number, isn't 2 bigger than negative 5? Like, yes, it is. But ignore the signs when we talk about that. So, again, you could think of it different ways. I missed 5 problems, but I got 2 extra credit. So if I got 2 extra credit, then I really missed 3 problems, minus 3. If I dug a hole negative 5 or 5 feet down, but I had some extra dirt and I filled it up with 2 feet, do I have a hole or do I have a mound of dirt? Now I still have a hole 3 feet deep. Okay, super important that you know how to do this. Okay, I mean, everything that we do deals with positive and negative numbers in some way or another. So you've got to practice this and get good at it. Otherwise, this year's going to be a struggle, and I don't want it to be a struggle for you. All right, so let's look at, we kind of looked at some examples already, but one of them that kind of trips people up is, one like this. So I look at this as positive 4, negative 9. If you look at it as 4 minus 9, it's the same thing. But 4 minus 9, 1 positive, 1 negative, I subtract. And the sign of the bigger number, 9 is bigger than 4, and the 9 has the negative sign. So we get negative 5. Okay, so that's the rule part. So let's say you earned 4 points extra credit on an upcoming quiz. And on the quiz, you missed 9 points. With the 4 extra credit points added together, you ended up just missing 5 points. Okay, so you can think about it like that. We had a mound of dirt, 4 feet tall. Climbed up on top of the dirt, started digging 9 feet. Where'd you end up? 5 feet below the ground level. Okay. Another way that you actually could think of it is on a number line. So if we had a number line and we started at 4 minus 9, well, subtraction means go that way, adding means go that way. We're subtracting 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What number is this over here that we ended up with? Well, that would be 3, 2, 1. That would be a 0 right there. And then negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so the one of each ones are, I think, the harder Most people get the other ones right, but okay. So you will see some that maybe have something like this, where we have what I call a double sign. 2 signs in a row. There's no number in between them. The parentheses is there, but there's no number in between, and we have a double sign. I don't want to deal with double signs ever. We want to change them. Okay, and so this is the way I think of it. This is a positive and then a negative, or a plus, a negative. So what does it change to? Well, if I added something negative, is that good or bad? If I gave you something negative, that'd be like adding negative. Is that good or is that bad? Well, nobody wants something that's negative, that's bad. So it turns into a minus sign because minus is bad. Okay, and then now I'm ready to do the problem. If I look at it, -5, -6, apply the rule. They're both negative. I add, and the sign is negative, no matter what. If I missed 5 problems on the or 5 points on the front page, and I missed 6 problems on the back page, I missed 11 problems, or 11 points. If I dug a hole 5 feet one day, and then I got tired and I rested, and the next day I dug 6 more feet, I dug 11 feet. Number line. If I start at -5, and it's okay to put negative, you can put the numbers wherever you want. And I'm going to go, remember, this way is subtraction, and this way is adding. So I kind of put the -5 way over there because I knew I was going to subtract. So subtract 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What number is that? Well, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, oh, -11. Okay. So you could have a positive and a negative in there. Adding something negative, that's not good. So subtraction. All right. You could have double sign, but it's both negative, or subtracting and negative. So again, I think of it, if I took away or if I subtracted something negative, if I took something negative from you, is that good or bad? Well, if I took something negative, that would be good for you. So we change to positive. And then it just ends up being 8 plus 7 is 15. Okay? So, very important skill to have that we'll continue to work on, not just by itself like we are today, but as we do problems moving forward, we'll be constantly working on positive and negative numbers. You have to practice them. If you know them, fantastic. Some of you, like I said earlier, this is going to be an easy section for some of you, and some of you it's going to be a challenge, and that's okay, because if you can get it, then the rest of the year is going to be a lot easier. So you got to get over I don't like math, and just work hard at it, and you'll get better, but you got to be willing to put in a little bit of time. All right, so finish, I would write down these notes somewhere if I were you. When you're done, I will post the answers, just the answers, not the worked out stuff, but just the answer for you to check your own answers. And then if you got stuff wrong and you're not quite sure how, please email me. Or you could wait till tomorrow and ask a question on the Zoom. So either way, again, worksheets posted. You don't have to print it out. Just put adding and subtracting integers on the top. Make sure your name's on there in pen. If you want to do your work in pen or pencil or whatever, that's fine. But please write down your name in pen. All right. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.